Okay, on this one, this is a 2000 Ford Taurus. It's got the little 3-liter that all of them have. At least I believe. No, it's an 01. So anyway, customer complaint is it's got a little bit of a coolant leak. It's losing about 2 cups of antifreeze a month. So I'll use my handy Mac tools pressurizer. Pressurize the system, and instantly I heard a hissing. I also saw a little steam coming from this side of the engine compartment. So as you look close, it's got a molded rubber radiator hose with a little bypass in it, and that's where it was leaking. You got a nice little stream of antifreeze coming out of there. So looks like I found it. So I called the dealership to see how much this setup would be. Everybody else has the radiator hose, the upper radiator hose, which goes from here on back to the radiator, as you can kind of see. But basically I just snapped this off the rest of the way. Once I did, I found that this little retaining ring that was over this, you can see where they kind of match, little circle for circle thing. Pulled that off, gave the old hose the old squeezeroo with my side cuts. I used the side cuts to trim this little piece off. I found I had really clean access to where I could even use this hose, and I thought, you know what, rather than paying 150 bucks, might as well do a little bit more labor, and that way I make more money off of the labor. I don't make much off of parts necessarily, but do a quick little fix and pass that on to you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use fitting for compressed air and pneumatic fitting, and I'm gonna insert that into a hole I made. Now the size hole that I like to use for compressed air fittings is a 31/64. It's basically just about that big. This drill's a 1/2 inch chuck, so it's getting nigh onto 1/2 inch, but not quite. So I drilled that out. I'll put the fitting in there. I'm going to clean out the rest of this after crushing it with a dental pick that's been adapted for such things. And then I'm going to hose clamp it. So this will screw in there, and then the hose will go over the fitting. I may trim it back just a little bit, but anyway, that's the way that'll work, and it'll be like new. It needs to hold 16 psi. I figure these fittings, I regularly use them to hold 160 psi. Usually about 130, but they can go up pretty high. 160 easy. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you, add it on, tag it on the back of that diagnostic video that I did. So I got this repair all put together, all ready to go, and guess what? The whole thing just busted. Just fell right apart. And so I got to thinking, that's what that light means. I'll show you, watch this. Okay, I just had to make a video about this. This is more on the blog side than the repair side, but it's funny. I mean, I've seen some manufacturers do some quirky, weird things, but this one's my favorite. We're in a Ford Taurus. I turn on the key. I'm sure I've seen this, but it just didn't strike me funny before. But watch the little light that comes on, the little yellow one. Can you see that? It's a picture of half a car with a screw stuck in it. You got your check engine light, and that's all fine and good, but when your car is really screwed, that light comes on right there. There's a screw in a car. I'm sure it means maintenance required, but it takes a special car like a Ford Taurus to require a light that says, dude, your car is screwed. Oh, that's okay. Funny. So here's the solution I came up with. I went to Lowe's. I got a piece of 1 inch by 6 inch galvanized pipe. I cut out the section where the old plastic union was, and basically this will tie in the upper radiator hose, instead of being on a plastic fitting, it'll go onto this, and then I cut the other side of the plastic fitting off, so it's just a radiator hose material. I'll go on that end. You can see what I did is I welded around the threads, and then I use a grinder to just round it out the rest of the way. But if you probably clamp onto the threads, but I get nervous about that, about antifreeze seeping around down in the low valleys of the threads. Then the other thing I did, I put it in the drill press. I drilled a hole down through that thing. It took me about 7 or 8 approaches, oiling the bit in between. But I drilled out a big enough hole that I could put that hose compression fitting down in there, and then I just welded around the base. You can see it's black instead of silver like you'd expect. I used black ceramic engine paint, which is a duplicolor product that I absolutely love for everything. I mean, yeah, this is going to be in the engine compartment. It'll go through a lot of heat cycles. But this duplicolor stuff's awesome. I use it for windshield wiper arms. I use it for everything. There was a guy on, I think it was Facebook. I joined a fan club for duplicolor, and I put in a couple of comments about it. So I absolutely love this stuff. I'm serious. You know, I've been buying that stuff for years. And then AutoZone quit carrying it, and you know, my access wasn't as good because I hate going to Pep Boys. I won't go in there. And so anyway, he sent me a case of it. It was awfully nice of him. So I figured I'd do proper and include it in a video, because like I say, I use it on everything. I use the gloss black. It dries quickly. It doesn't run. I mean, this stuff is just awesome. You want to do a wheel well or something, this ceramic engine paint, this is the 500-degree stuff, but you can use it for anything, and it works really, really well. So anyway, thanks. Go. So I couldn't decide whether to say K or so. At any rate, I've got the system up to 16 psi on the Mac pressurizer, and here's the new piece in place, and it seems to be holding and doing really well. And it's steel instead of that plastic that dissolves with antifreeze, so that's it's definitely an improvement in my book. If this video is helpful to you, go rate it 5 stars. If you have any questions, comments, put them in the comments below. And for more information, or if you want to learn more about fixing cars, or model helicopters, or skiing, or how not to hit a tree, feel free to subscribe.